We all have to pay success tax. And the tax is the failures and overcoming them. Instead of solving $100 problems, you know what my wish for you is? Solve $1 million problems. They're the same amount of stress. Figure out what success means to you and go after that. Need motivation? Watch a Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and I make these videos because you are probably the most ambitious person in your circle, but you know you're capable of more, and you get that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, Dean Graziosi, and my take on his top 10 rules for success. Enjoy. Okay, let's kick it off with rule number 1. Pay the success tax.
If we can shift and realize that the definition of success is going from failure to failure without losing our enthusiasm, then all of a sudden we just want to fail as fast as we can to get it out of the way. And here's what I believe. I believe with all of me, and I share this a lot because it's so important, is that we all have to pay success tax. And the tax is the failures and overcoming them. We have to pretend there's an auditor up in the space, in sky, in heaven, whatever you want to believe, and they're watching our failures. They watched my daughter fail at that game. She's only going to get good when they go, yep, check, she had that bad game, she didn't give up. Check, she wanted to come out of the game, she wouldn't let it, she didn't argue with her coach. Check, 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 check. And then success follows. If you want to play in a band, you would be so excited to be able to play in front of 50,000 people, a packed stadium, all singing your songs, jamming in front of everybody. But you don't get to do that unless you work hard when no one's watching. You get everybody watching and eyeballs to win the game or play the concert or make the money. That only happens because you play when no one's watching, and usually you fail miserably. You have to pay the success tax. You have to, if you're out there jamming in front of 50,000 people, I'd bet to say you showed up at a gig many times where no one showed up. Absolute failure. But you still got up the next day and practice. Same thing in your life. We want more money. We want more freedom. We want more choices. But most people aren't willing to go through the failures, aren't willing to take that research and development, that knowledge that we get from failures, learn what not to do, what to do, let the rest pass, and then continue with enthusiasm to your next venture. The quote for me that makes the biggest impact, the definition of success by Winston Churchill, is going from failure to failure without losing your enthusiasm. That's the definition of life. Know that those failures are just fine-tuning your axe. They're sharpening your pick. They're allowing you to go faster and quicker by learning from your mistakes and learning what's right. And the most successful people I know how to rebound fast, learn from those experiences, and keep pushing forward.
Rule number 2, leverage heartbreak.
Transform heartbreak into your leverage. So as an underdog, your parents or your friends may not have faith in you or support you. And that's heartbreaking. Did you ever have like you watched me one day, you read my book or somebody else, or you saw something online, or you got involved in my real estate course, and you're like, damn, I'm doing this, and you're using the power of you don't even know you are. You're being innovative, you're enthusiastic, and you go tell the person you care about the most, and they shut you down like a lid, just like shutting off a light switch, like, oh, that's so dumb. This is the wrong time. You don't have the money, and they shut you down. That's heartbreaking. Also, I've watched so many people when they have a desire for more. If you're watching me, you're someone who's working on your personal growth. You're working on your success. You want another level of life. You realize one of the biggest plights of our world is living knowing you have untapped potential. It's the worst feeling in the world. You know you got more gas in the tank, but you're not putting the throttle down because people are telling you and you can't. I just told my daughter, I stole this from Sean Stevenson, the 3-foot giant, my dear friend. He said, don't ever let anyone dim your glow so you can match them. You're bright. People are like, nah. And a lot of times we turn down our light so we can match that. Screw that. Brighten yours up more. Have you ever been in a relationship? Could be family, friends, partnership, or significant other. You're in a relationship. You, because you're here, there's a million other things you could be doing, you're here with me. You're working on your personal growth. You are. Your success, abundance. You want to tap into that next level, not leave it. Don't die at 98 years old and go, wow, I had a lot more to give the world, but I didn't. Oh my God, did you feel that? Screw that. I want to be like, nothing left. I'm done. Time to go. Nothing left. But think about this. You're working on your personal growth. You start with somebody here. They are at this level, but they decide this is a perfect level for them. And all of a sudden, you're continuing to work on your personal growth, and you're going higher, and you're going higher. And now they're saying, oh, stop, you're getting all foo-foo. Oh, you're too, oh my God, what are you going to go to a Tony Robbins event and jump up and down? You're going to go to a Dean Graziosi growth event and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, you're going, and I'm going, and going, and you get to a point, and they're like, oh my God, we've grown apart. And somebody leaves you, or someone calls you, tells you that you're a dreamer or you're no good. I've watched it happen so many times with people who desire another level of life because the people around you want to stay status quo and you make them uncomfortable. So heartbreak is pretty high in this world of growing, of going next level. And that's okay, because that's the way it's supposed to be. I believe God, the universe, whatever, I believe designed it that way because they're meant to be with these people and you're meant to be with us. It doesn't mean you have to hurt anybody along the way, but there's a lot of heartache. There's a lot of heartbreak. So what I noticed with underdogs who spin it into a win is they take that heartbreak from any area, from parents, from a relationship, from a marriage to a bad partnership. They take that heartbreak and they ball it back up, poof, and use it as energy.
Rule number 3, step off the path.
Think of what we do in life as mapping out new terrain, right? So think of our life as like the earth. And we're explorers, right? And some people take one path. They go to work every day, they do the same thing, same couple of friends, and they're okay with this one straight line path. They don't see any of the world. They do this, they go do their thing, and they come back. That's one version. And then there's some people who say this path that everybody says is great, this path that everybody says this is the security, this is the safety, this is how life is supposed to be. It's like, screw that. And they wander off the path. Right? If you're here with us today, you're here with me today, you're part of the inner circle, that means that you're someone who's wandered off the path. Congratulations, the path sucks. The path is what everybody else does. The path and if somebody's on it and they're miserable, they want you to be on the path with them. When they see you straying, like, no, get back on here. It's not safe out there. No, it's not safe on the path. We have one life. We got to squeeze every bit of juice out of this life. You don't want to look back at the end of your life being 100 years old, be in the hospital and go, wow, I walked the same path every day. I'm so glad I played it safe. No, screw that. No one says that shit. At the end, you're like, why didn't I step off the path? Why didn't I go for more? Why didn't I why didn't I go after being an artist, go after real estate investing, go after doing my own online business, go after the fitness world, go in the coaching world, go sing? Why didn't I do it? Because someone told you staying on the path was smart. Screw that. Get off the path. But if you think about that and you're mapping out terrain, so just think if we're explorers, if we're on the path, we get to explore new territory. I'm going to read some of these guys. We get to explore new territory. But when you explore new territory, you've kind of mapped out that terrain. Now, if you go off the path and you find a cliff, you can mark that. If you find paradise, you could mark that. If you find water, you mark that. You find mountains, you mark that. You find the ocean, you mark it. And all of a sudden you start exploring. For me, going through this process, I mapped out a whole new bunch of terrain. Listen, can I tell you something? I feel absolutely, positively bulletproof because I face the biggest fear of my life. There's nothing that can get me. Let me just tell you something. I drive down the road and somebody cuts me off, I wave to them. I order chicken for dinner, they bring me steak well done. I eat the steak well done and say thank you because the little shit doesn't matter anymore. If you want another level of life, get bigger problems and solve bigger problems. Literally solve bigger problems and watch your life go to another level. Watch the little shit fall away. The stuff that used to bug you, be like, why did I let that bug me? Get a deeper set of problems and solve that shit. And when you're done with that, solve the next one. And when you're done with that, solve the next one. Instead of solving $100 problems, you know what my wish for you is? Solve $1 million problems. They're the same amount of stress. If you need $100 to pay the bill or you need $1 million, I assure you it's the same stress. So why not add more zeros?
Rule number 4, convert criticism to fuel.
Most critics really desire more out of life and they feel stuck. They feel like it can't work for them, that someone else got lucky, that someone else had an advantage, that they have a disadvantage. Those that are critics feel the disadvantages harder than anybody else. At least that's what I believe. And if you can let them know that a lot of people have what they're going through, but a lot of people have overcome it and gone to another level, I think we can flip critics when we hit their heart, when we find out why they're acting the way they are and show them a different path. Now, are there some people, a small percentage of the world, that are just going to be naysayers, die miserable, die grumpy, die with minimal friends? Yes, that's sad. I wish we could convert all of them, but that's probably not possible. But here's what I know. Instead of getting offended, try to convert them. Instead of trying to sell them on why they should do something different, just be the person to them you'd like back, and that's all we can do. In relationships, when things are going sideways, the best way to get clarity is just be the person you want the other person to be. If you want them to listen to you, listen more. If you want them to do the little things for you, do the little things for them. Take back the ego. Take back the aggressiveness that a critic can create. And just know that if you're causing people to talk about you, if you're causing people to say negative things about you, most likely that means you're moving and shaking. People don't talk about people who are quiet. They don't talk about people who aren't changing the world. So if you have some haters or critics or some naysayers in your life, change the framework. Like I said earlier, realize that that means you're moving and shaking. You're doing something to disturb other people's inactions. So instead of that being something that holds you back, let that be the fuel to get you to your next level. So what's up, man? It's good to see you. I see you all over the place. I see you hustling. I see you impacting lives, doing amazing stuff on YouTube. I want to share whatever works for, your following, my following today. But I want to share, dude, your book, Built to Serve. You are built to serve. There's a difference when, I've been an entrepreneur for over 30 years. I've been in the self-education industry for 24. Doesn't even seem possible. But there's a lot of people that when you kind of meet your heroes or you meet the people behind the book, a habits book, a built to serve book, a time management. It's like you meet the guy with the time management book and he's late getting on stage and stressed out of his mind in the green room. Like there's no congruency is what I wanted to say. And before we chat today, I just want to honor you and give you congruency. What you wrote in this book is really who you are, man. You are built to serve. You reach out to my team all the time and want to help with YouTube and tell us what we're doing wrong. And you're not doing it because of finances. You're not doing it because you're trying to get an edge. You're doing it just because this is who you are, man. So I love seeing you out there. I love seeing you grow. I love seeing the impact you're making.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. I'm still working on accepting compliments. So I'll just say thank you.
Oh, then I'm going to keep doing it through this entire thing to make you feel uncomfortable.
Oh, great. Classic Dean. All right, cool. Well, also in that story, you've been really helpful in getting that book out. I remember when I came to Puerto Rico and was trying to get feedback on pre-launch, you and Brendan Burchard took time backstage while you're doing your big event. People paid all this money to come there, and you took time over lunch for 40 minutes to do a deep dive on my strategy. And just super grateful that you guys did that. And you hooked me up with your warehouse and, a whole bunch of things that Dean's a big reason why the book has got out there.
Just a little piece, man. Just what's up, everybody. I see the highs. So listen, appreciate everybody. I see all the cool comments coming in. So how can we deliver some value today? How do we help out? Besides, I do got to plug this. Like if you didn't check out Evan's Built to Serve, you should check it out. The truth is, I'm not all the way done. I freaking love it. My biggest problem is every book I read, Evan, I listen. I have such a hard time reading. I still have dyslexia. It still doesn't stick. So it's taken me longer. But when I actually read a book, it sticks. So highly recommend it. And it's just you. It's like it's having a 200-page conversation with you, which is always cool.
Cool, man. Appreciate it. Well, I also have an audiobook version. I read it myself, so there's always.
Oh, dude, please send that to me.
Rule number 5, be truthful.
Tell someone in your life the truth. Tell them if they're failing. Tell yourself the truth. Tell the people around you. Tell coworkers, but find a way to do it with class. Find a way to do it with empathy, but find a way to realize that telling the truth solves problems. brutal honesty, transparency, authenticity sets your soul free in a way that, again, I can't quantify. I can just say to you, you need to try it. What if it's just 1 week of your life where you don't talk about people. 1 week of your life where you tell the people in your life what you really feel, just in the best way possible. What if you are open to hearing the truth from other people about you, and instead of getting defensive, instead of letting your ego take control, you go, wow, could some of this be true? I've done so much of this going through a divorce and wanting to be friends with my ex and want my kids to thrive, that I learned so much about me, and I feel I'm on a completely different level, and I want that experience for you. So brutally honest and transparent this week. Try it. See how it sticks.
Rule number 6, change the story.
You remember when something goes wrong, and you can think about this too, like from a girlfriend leaving you to losing your money to the business didn't work. And then you don't just go, wow, she left me. You're like, wow, she left me. I'll never be in love. I'm gonna be miserable. Maybe I'll be bad to the next girl. I'll be alone forever. I'm never gonna have kids. Like, you stack all this negativity.
When it rains, it pours. Yeah,
you
start
paint
looking for
this
things.
negative future, and I think we're designed that way. Because I can remember staying up all night just stacking stuff. Like, so when that happened, I was already supporting my mom and dad. I've never worked for anybody in my entire life. And when that happened, I started stacking all the negativity. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go broke. Oh my God, it's gonna be in the paper. Oh my God, all my friends would be like, I told you couldn't make it, dreamer.
Wow, yeah.
And then I said, oh my God, I'm probably gonna have to go to work so I can keep supporting my parents.
Wow.
Like, I stacked so much, like one thing happened and I'm stacking like a
all the
mile
future,
long,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
What's true, most of us deal with some variation of this.
So what I've learned through the years, and I didn't know I did it then, but I call it this like success loop now. I'll just go through it quick because you said how put it in real process. Like, this was a pivotal moment in my life. Like, I didn't have $1.5 million, and I invested all the money I had into my next business, and that business was eating money, and now this money was going away, and I owed money, and my attorney said I had to file bankruptcy. Stacked all the negativity, didn't sleep, sick to my stomach. But then what shifted it is somehow, now it's a process. Now this is a process I go through, and take this process. Don't do this to yourself. I started stacking what could go right. And it was kind of off balancing what could go wrong. It was like my brain wanted to go wrong, wrong, wrong. I'm like, no, what about right, wrong, wrong, wrong. So I was balancing, and I calmed down a little bit. As soon as I calmed down, I started focusing on solutions. Like, how can I fix this? How can I get through it? No, I'm not filing bankruptcy. And I worked on solutions. But then what really got me is I started thinking of who I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be somebody who used to be successful. I didn't want my friends to say, dreamer knew it.
Yeah, used to
I didn't
be.
want to be the guy that almost made it and had that story for 20 years. Like, back in the early 2000s, I was almost there, but then this guy ripped me off and screwed me in. Like, how many people do you know that have that bitter moment?
Exactly. Oh, big business, it's all crooks.
Right,
and,
right.
Yeah,
The real estate market turned and robbed my life. That was 20 years ago. Time to jump back on the horse.
Right.
My boss fired me. My partner stole my money. My wife cheated on me and left me. Okay, that's you can either loathe on that and focus on that, or you can learn from it, call it research and development, and go forward. So I started saying to myself, dude, who do you want to be? The guy that used to be or almost was successful? And then I started writing down who I wanted to be. I wanted to be the guy that got through an almost impossible situation. No money, $1.5 million in debt, partner, I had to go to court to take back a broken company. I want to be the guy that gets through this. I want this story.
Rule number 7, define your success.
Figure out what success means to you and go after that, and don't worry about the other stuff. Experiences, remember the moments in between, they're priceless. Yes, money can make all those things easier, so go after it, but spend the money you have on things that are smart. Make sure, take an audit. What are you spending money on? Can you gain more education? Can you gain more wisdom? Can you get in a mastermind group? Can you learn, can you hire a mentor? Can you start that business? Can you sacrifice here that doesn't really move the needle of your happiness to plant apple trees? I always say, planting apple trees sucks. You plant them, they don't produce fruit for 6 to 10 years, but once they do, they produce forever. Are you planting any apple trees in your life? Are you looking for the instant gratification, right? So think about all those things. I was all over the board, and decide this week, are you spending money on the right things? Do you really know what success is? Do you realize that some of the things that you might be striving for will give you a bump of happiness for a week, a month, 6 months, but they're not sustainable? You being the best version of you understanding what success means, and you gaining the knowledge and the wisdom to get there will fulfill you in ways that I could only emphasize with all of me, with all my enthusiasm, are the way to pure happiness, to pure abundance. At the end of your life, you could say, I've made millions and I lost my family. I made millions, I don't have any friends. Or you could say, I made millions and I lived life with fruitful relationships, with fruitful experiences, and I put my money in the most important places to get me there.
Rule number 8, go for outstanding.
Don't be satisfied. Don't ever be satisfied with okay. Don't be satisfied with good. Go for excellent. Go for outstanding. You know what your potential is. That's when that icky, creepy, eerie feeling you have inside, why I just want more. Well, it's because you deserve more. You're talented enough. You have the capabilities. If you suck at some stuff, great, join the crowd. So do I. I suck at more stuff than I'm good at, but I got really great at the stuff I'm good at, and so can you.
Rule number 9, analyze your priorities.
I really want you to analyze the priorities you have in your life. If priorities are 1 to 5, sometimes we have things in the 5 out of 5, but they don't serve us. They don't serve God. They don't serve your bigger future. They serve other people's needs. They serve the old version of you. They serve the dreams you used to have when you were younger. You're gonna have to let them go.
And rule number 10, the last one before a very special bonus clip, is do it sooner.
You don't want to look back at the end of your life and go, why didn't I make that decision? Why didn't I get healthier sooner? Why didn't I fix that bad relationship? Why didn't I say no or end a bad relationship? Or why didn't I start that business? Do you think you'd be better starting and failing something with your passion, or sticking and being safe in something that's slowly robbing your life, your juice for life? Again, I know it's easier said than done. You have life, you have bills, you have mortgages, you have relationship, you have kids, we have all this stuff. But man, in the end of the day, are we gonna look back and say, I'm so glad I played safe. I'm so glad I didn't to try to do something older. I'm so glad I just played small and didn't reach my full potential. Hell no. Not one of you watching me. You are not the type to watch me if that's the life you want. So today, I'm not encouraging you to do something drastic. I'm just encouraging you to investigate. Do the exercise. Look into your future on 2 different paths. Look down the road a year, 5, 10, even 20, and see what path you think you should take. Reverse engineer it and decide today.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and you get motivated, the science says you have a 35% chance of following through. That's not enough. But when you write down what time, what place, and how you're going to actually take action on it, you jump to 91% chance of following through. And when you have public accountability and you commit to other people that you're gonna do it, it jumps to 95% that you will follow through. So I want that for you, Believe Nation. I wanna know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week. Put it down in the comments below so I can celebrate you.
If something doesn't have any benefit except, maybe a quick little high because you get drunk and you don't think about what's wrong in your life, but it doesn't benefit anybody, those are things that you can cut out and find time. But I'm going to ask you today to let's not look at time as this linear thing. Let's look at time of what goes on in here. And that's what I want to talk about today. It's a completely different way to look or observe time management. So, time. How are we going to get back? How are we going to evolve? How are we going to accomplish that first deal, that 10th deal, do 10 deals a month? How are we going to get there with life so busy and cell phones and, text messages and email, and we're so busy? I think I have the solution, and I really thought through this all day, and this is what I want to deliver now. Okay, problems and drama, solutions and destinations. Solutions and a destination, growth and action. Again, I just came up with this today, but here's what I think. Most of us spend time in one of these buckets. We're either stuck with problems and drama, we're focused on solutions and destinations, and we're focusing on growth and action. But let's just label these. Let's label this PD for problems and drama. This is SD for solutions and destination, and this is GA for growth and action. There's only 24 hours in a day, but how do we spend those 24 hours in here, right? Big chunk we're sleeping. So let's just say this is our time, and this is P and D. This is problems and drama. And maybe this is SD, which is solutions and your destination, where you're going, right? And this is growth and action. Could some of you, maybe just a couple of you, relate to maybe this is how life sucks you in? That the world with negative news and people that are negative around you and people that are stuck in a rut, and it's easier for them to tell you what's wrong with the world. How many people see you and you're like, hey, I haven't seen you, how you been? And they start that way, and all of a sudden you're around it so much you get sucked into problems and drama. Now, here's what I know about problems. I've said this before, and if you saw it, sorry, but it's a great analogy. They teach NASCAR drivers that if they get in a spin, no matter how close they get to the wall, is if they focus on the wall, what do you think they do? They hit the wall. So what they teach them is if you get in a spin, find a clearing, find an opening between two cars and stare at that opening no matter what and try to get there. If you get an inch away from the wall, it doesn't matter. Don't look at it, because if you look at it, you drift, you hit it, okay? So where are you focusing your problems? Or where are you focusing your attention? Are you focusing on the problem, on the wall? What if I call that real estate agent and she thinks, I'm not qualified? What if I ask my family member to be a partner with me and they laugh at me? What if I talk to an agent and she doesn't know the 25-to-1, or he doesn't know the 25-to-1? What if I get the deal done? What if I put money down and I don't know what I'm doing and I snowball and then I don't have money and then I can't pay the rent? And are you focusing on the wall, or are you focusing on the solutions and where you want to go, the destination, right? Unfortunately, so many of us are trained to focus on the problems. We think in our minds that the focus on the problem is allowing us to make sure we avoid it, to protect ourselves. When in reality, guys, what we focus on is exactly what we get. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think, I don't have time, if you think this is too much work, if you think it's overwhelming, if you think people make fun of you, if you think you'll fail, if those things go through your mind, yes, that's the end result. And the drama, I wrote drama here today because I have so many people in my life, family, friends, relatives, that since I've stepped away and focused so much of my energy, I'm not allowing myself in the drama. When I go back in a holiday or go back home and see old friends or even new friends, I can't believe how much drama is a part of their life. And I think because they haven't found a way to fulfill themselves, or maybe your case, I've been there, we all have, it's easier to listen to other people's drama or be a part of it than to take ownership of your own life. So I'm going to challenge you today to really acknowledge, where is it that you spend your time?
If you want 10 more amazing rules from Dean Graziosi, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
I judged myself by an outdated scorecard. I judged myself that if I wasn't good at reading, I wasn't good in school, I didn't get good grades, and I didn't go to college, that I guess I was going to be a loser.